Okay, so far we've been factoring. So the first factoring we did greatest common factor. So that's the one where you just divide. And then we did perfect squares. And what has to be between the perfect squares, a plus or a minus? Minus. It has to be a minus. And then they have to be perfect squares. And there's only two terms, right? So greatest common factor we divide. Perfect squares, there's two terms with a minus. And then we did three terms, and that was A times C and B. Four terms we grouped. And this is the last kind. It's called difference, sum and difference of cubes. So sum means add, and difference means subtract. So we're going to follow the same formula. So first of all, we're going to write x and y here. We get an x squared in both. I'm going to put some signs in here in just a second, okay? And this is xy, and then y squared. It's written on the board over there if it's too small for you. It's the green one. So the first sign is the same. So if this is a plus, this is a plus. The O stands for opposite. So if this is a plus, the next one is minus. And the AP stands for always positive. The last one's always positive. So the first one's the same, so what goes here? Minus. The next one is opposite, so it's plus. And the last one is always positive, so it's plus. Okay? So if I'm going to fill in the signs, I'm not going to do anything here. I'm just going to do the signs. The first one is the same, so that's plus. The next one is opposite, which is negative. And the last one is always positive, so it's plus. So the first one, same. So this is minus, opposite, and always positive. So here's the formulas again. So I need an A and I need a B. My A, what is cubed? It's x. What number here is cubed that makes 125? I wrote them on the board over here. So my B is 5. So watch how this works. If A is x and B is 5, the first thing I do is I do A plus B, right? So I'm going to have x plus 5. And the next thing I do is A squared. Well, my A is x squared. I'm going to do the opposite sign, which is minus. And then A times B is x times 5, or 5x. And then B squared is 25. And that's your answer. I don't know if we're leaving the formula up or not. It's the same thing every time. And you can remember the signs with SOAP. So this one is x, and this one is 3. And this time it's a minus between. So I'm going to have x minus 3. A squared would be x squared. The sign is opposite, so it's plus. A times B is going to be 3x, and then B squared is 9, and it's positive. Okay, so you guys do the next two while I take attendance. So the A is x and the B is 2. So I'm going to get x minus 2 So on the last one, if A is x and B is 4, it's not fun? It is fun. Why didn't I put what? Because what number raised to the third power equals 64? 4. Oh, here? Because so again, what number raised to the third power equals 8? 2. You don't understand? Okay, so tell me, so look, right here, 125. I want to know what number raised to the third power equals 125. So what number raised to the third power is 125? 5. So that's why the B is 5. What number raised to the third power is 27? 3. So that's why it's 3. Is that? Okay. So, no. So let's go over here. So I want to know what number raised to the third power equals 125. 5. 15 times 15 times 15 is way bigger than 125. So my A is 5, and I have an x to the third power, so I have to include the x. Now, what number raised to the third power is 216? So that's my B. So inside the parentheses, I'm going to have 5x minus 6. And then I take A squared. Well, what's my A? So what's that squared? 25x squared. And what sign? Minus, opposite. So then take A times B, which is 5x times 6, and that gives me 30x. And the last one's always positive, so it's 36. Because what's 5x times 6? So what's my A? What number raised to the third power is 343? 7, but I have an x also, right? And then what number raised to the third power is 125? So I have 7x plus 5. Now I'm going to take A squared. So that's 7x squared, 49x squared. If this is plus, the next one's minus. So A times B gives me 35x, and then plus 25. It's 5 squared. So my A, what number raised to the third power is 8? 2x. What number raised to the third power is 27? 3. So I'm going to start with 2x minus 3. Then I take A squared, which gives me 4x squared. This is a minus, so now it's a plus. A times B gives you 6x, and then plus 3 squared is 9. And this is fun. It is way fun.